Welcome back. In the first video, we just looked at a simple example of the difference between creating structured content in Kentico versus creating unstructured content in the IMIS Rise product. We're going to go on from that example and now just look at some simple examples of how that impacts your ability to maintain the content. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go back to our team pages and just look at the small differences between them. And you'll notice that when you look at ours are all inline. The image down the left, and then the person's name and their title, and then their links, their bio. Whereas over here, we've got the name, then the image, and then the bio, and then it alternates. So the second one is then the name, then the bio, then the image. So we're going to look at the process of changing that. And we're going to start by going to Kentico and changing our team page so that it renders in the same way as the IMIS member site team page does. So to do that, we're going to go back to our team page. Now you remember there's actually no content per se on the team page. The content is in documents underneath that are tied related to each team member. So there's a series of team member documents, and then they're turned into a content page called the team page. And that's done through what in Kentico is called a repeater control. And without going into the detail of the repeater control, I'm simply going to look at one of the facets of it, which is the transformation. And the transformation is essentially what says I'm going to use HTML and CSS to take the content that's in the document and put it on the page. Exactly the same way as using any kind of standard HTML and CSS. One of the things that Kentico has as standard is this concept of alternating transformation. So at the moment, we've got one transformation in place that renders the TDN team list. So what I did was I just went and modified and saved a copy of that transformation and created a team list with the image on the right. And we're going to use that as our alternating transformation. So we're going to go and find it. So it relates to our staff members, and then we're going to choose the image on right transformation. I'm going to say OK. And when we save that, you'll see that the content has changed where every alternating image is on the right. And just to show you that on the live site, here we are. And if I refresh my team page, there I am. I've moved over to the right, as has Sean, whereas Stuart and Jay are still on the left. So now imagine that we want to do the same in IMIS. So we want to change the content so that instead of it being alternating, that we want theirs to look how ours did look. So let's go to IMIS and we'll go back to our leadership page. And what do we have to do that? So we've got to open the page, we've got to go into the content part again and open it in edit mode. And then we've got to move each image individually because it's inline content. Now it's not too hard to do. We right click, we go into the properties of the image, we go into image alignment, excuse me, image alignment, and then we change the alignment to the left and we say OK, and there's the image over on the left. But of course the thing is we've got to do it for every one. So now we've got to go to this one and change its properties. I'm going to go alignment on the left, and so on. Next one, properties, alignment on the left. We'll just finish that process. Properties, alignment on the left. Okay, I'm going to say OK there. And there we go. We've got all of our images on the left. Now, because of the nature of the content and the way those images were loaded on the page, they haven't moved across quite as well as we like. So we probably also need to go and modify those. But for now, you get the idea. To go and change it, we've got to change it inline in the page, and we've got to change it for every item that we want to change. So that doesn't seem too hard for this one team page, but this structured content concept flows across your entire site. So imagine when you've got 100 pages like this and you want to bring them into that kind of structure. Then you've got to go and modify every page and every piece of content on that page. So you can see the benefits of structured content, or the first benefit that we've looked at there, is that I have the ability to make sweeping changes through changing one thing rather than modifying every piece of the content. Because I've broken the content down into separate elements and into separate documents, I'm just changing the control of what displays the content on the page here and not changing the content itself.